Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, it's with great sadness that I rise to ask that the Senate adjourn in memory of Charlotte Shultz, a philanthropist and San Francisco's by far and away longest serving chief of protocol. Charlotte Shultz, as you may know, was married to former Secretary of State George Shultz, who tragically passed away last year in February. Charlotte was from a small town in the Texas Panhandle. It's one of the reasons that she and our former Speaker and Mayor, Willie Brown, bonded so much. The two could not have been more different, but they were both Texans at heart. But she embraced San Francisco as her hometown in the 1960s. As San Francisco's chief of protocol, she was no doubt the longest serving unelected public official in San Francisco, working under 10 different mayors for 51 years, the entire time unpaid, just doing the work to really foster the relationship between San Francisco and the rest of the world. She worked with over 80 consuls general, cementing bonds with 18 sister cities. She promoted business, education, and cultural initiatives with visiting dignitaries. She arranged for decades mayoral travels around the world. She promoted education and business and took on so many cultural initiatives with visiting dignitaries, including Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom in 1983 and Pope John Paul II in 1987. Her kindness and commitment were appreciated by so many, and in 2007 she was named Honorary Commander of the Royal Victorian Order by Queen Elizabeth. Charlotte was a civic leader who was deeply committed to San Francisco and frankly to the entire state. With the schedule that so often had her working from early morning until late at night, regardless of her age, she had this incredible energy. She also managed to find time to sit on the boards of directors of the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, the San Francisco Opera, the San Francisco Symphony, the San Francisco Ballet, the San Francisco War Memorial and Performing Arts Center, and the Commonwealth Club. She also was a board member of Grace Cathedral, as well as the Fine Arts Museum of San Francisco. It makes me tired just to read that list, but that was her energy. She also had an amazing, sometimes biting, but an amazing sense of humor and was just always fun to be around. You looked forward to being around Charlotte. She passed away in December from complications due to cancer. It's a massive, massive loss to the city of San Francisco. And Charlotte, we miss you. Rest in peace.
Senator Hertzberg on this item.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to join in adjourning in the memory of Charlotte Shultz with my colleague from San Francisco. You know, we all talk about being the fifth largest economy or fourth largest economy, whatever we are, as we deal globally. But I think the points were made by Senator Wiener are so important because those things don't happen automatically in terms of those relationships. And it wasn't just her relationship with Speaker Brown, Mayor Brown. He was here when she did the same thing when he was here as Speaker. Governor Schwarzenegger, every governor, she was just extraordinary in building those relationships and making sure that matters of critical global importance were attended to. I'll never forget 3 days before 9/11, I was racing to San Francisco for the celebration of the armistice with all of the former secretaries of state, foreign ministers, ambassadors, with Japan, the big events, things that were important that reminded us and kept us on that world stage. And so I always like to say God is in the details, and it is the details. It is not just our economy, but it is those personal relationships of all those ministers and dignitaries and ambassadors that she made sure that we saw and talked with and helped build those relationships, certainly with respect to San Francisco. But she was a critically important role through many administrations that I observed. I met her in 1974 when she was married to Mr. Swig, way back in those days, doing the same thing. There are certain people that are just stand out and make contributions that don't have a lot of credit for it, and Charlotte Shultz was one of those, and I ask that this esteemed body adjourn in her memory. Thank you.